Great. I'll call this meeting to order, and the first I need is a motion to go into closed session. Counselor Quinte and Counselor McHugh. All will go into closed session, and we'll be back. Thank you. All in favor? Good. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I ask you to stand for the Indigenous Land Acknowledgement, the national anthem, and then we can take our seats. Thank you.
We begin this meeting by acknowledging that Quinte West is on Indigenous land that has been inhabited by Indigenous peoples from the beginning. We thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Long before today, there have been Indigenous peoples who have been the stewards of this place. In particular, we acknowledge the traditional territories of the Anishinaabe, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and the Mohawks of the Bay of Quinte First Nation. This territory is covered by numerous treaties. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contribution of the Métis, Inuit, and other Indigenous peoples have made, both in shaping and strengthening this community in particular, and our province and country as a whole. This acknowledgement serves as recognition of the contributions and historical significance of Indigenous peoples across Turtle Island and demonstrates our collective commitment to meet the promises and address the challenges of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission within our community.
Standing for a couple of minutes. I'd like to acknowledge today is my privilege to congratulate Inspector Christina Reeve on attending her last council meeting. Yeah, before her, it's still going through, right? I just thought I'd ask. What's more? On behalf of the City of Quinte West and our Police Service Board, Councillor O'Neill's here with us today, and I want to acknowledge you on your 30 years of service with the OPP, including the past 7 years as Commander of the Quinte West Detachment. It has been our pleasure to work alongside you and your tremendous officers, who all work so diligently to keep the City of Quinte West a safe place to live, work, and visit. We wish you all the best in your retirement. I have to read that. My heart doesn't tell me to do that, but the paper does. We do wish you well, and periodically at the hockey games, I see Roger Dingman, who was the individual responsible for hiring you many years ago, and I tell him that you're as good as the Hawks as long as we win. So I want to thank you very much and express all of us are privileged to have had the opportunity to work with you. And I know, and you know, that we have the complement of officers in Quinte West that we require, and it's because of the leadership. And I thank you so much, and I hope every day is even better than it's been. I don't know how it could get any better than being the detachment commander for this city, but hopefully it does. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. Okay, I need to ask if there are any announcements, and I'll ask any disclosures of pecuniary interest, or I can do any disclosures. declare that closed. Okay, any announcements that anyone wants to make? Councillor Reid, you're on first.
Thank you. I'm sure many people will mention this evening, but April 26th is Trash Bash. And it's a very, very important event in Quinte West. And we partner with Belleville and Prince Edward County for a competition. So hopefully we'll get lots of people out. You can get your kits at Frankfurt office, or you can go on to quintetrashbash.ca for more information as to where you can pick up your kits, where you can drop them off. But before, I want to even go a little bit further with that, because I have noticed, and it has been brought to my attention, I want to thank several individuals in Frankfurt area for already starting their own trash bash. They're cleaning up along the canal, they're cleaning up along Bata Island, the ditches, the roadside. Our community looks so much better because of all their work. And I would just hope that people would please take your trash home or to one of the garbage bins that are provided in Quinte West. It just makes our community much better. So thank you to all those individuals for doing this out of the goodness of their heart. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you. And hopefully more.
I agree with you. Director Angelo, or CEO Angelo, have you noticed the last couple of weeks with our garbage, how much has been put out in the paper bags? Or you've been working, you haven't seen them? Well, I've seen quite a few bags along the streets. So I, along with Councillor Reid, I really support all of the people who have been cleaning up and trying to make things look better. Yes, I know our birds and so on need the leaves but thank you. I still thank you and appreciate the work that's being done. So anybody else have an announcement? Councillor Stedall?
Thank you, Worship. Just in following with that, there's also the Spring Giveaway Day where people can put things to their corner, and that's on May 3rd to the 4th. And it's from 8 to 8. And just a reminder is if they are still left at the curb at the end of the day, please bring them back in. But I think that's another part of the cleanup that's important.
So if it doesn't leave, put it away, right?
Please.
Thank you. Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also, Saturday is the Battawa Easter egg hunt, and I think acting CAO might want to comment on they're increasing the number of pickups for the yard waste too.
Yes, thank you, Worship, to Councillor Neal and the rest of Council. So recently we made a decision to extend the curbside leaf and yard waste pickup into the month of May. What we realized is with the recent ice storm, we're continuing with the leaf and yard waste program for the month of April in the different wards. And as well, residents can put out small bundles of brush that don't exceed 3 feet in length, as long as they're tied and don't exceed 50 pounds in weight. So if there's different levels of brush that you have from the recent ice storm, you can actually place them out at the curbside for that to be picked up on your leaf and yard waste day. In addition, we've extended that also into the month of May for those residents that express some concerns about pollinators and effect on pollinators, and those that may want to just wait a little bit until the more warmer weather, then they can start their leaf and yard waste cleanup program around their individual homes in May as well.
Quinte had his hand up.
Councillor who?
Councillor Quinte had his hand up.
Oh, okay, sorry. Councillor Quinte, and then I'll go this way.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to acknowledge that a dear friend of Quinte West and all of the Quinte region, Brenda Snyder, the Executive Director of Volunteer and Information Quinte, she was recognized in receiving the King Charles III Coronation Medal for her significant contribution to Canada and our community. And I just wanted to acknowledge her. She attends several meetings throughout the year, especially when it's budget time. And her organization greatly helped the city of Quinte West last fall with the Toyota soccer tournament, and many other events that she continues to support. And I just wanted to acknowledge her efforts. Thanks.
Thank you. Coming this way. Yeah. Okay, Councillor Card.
Thank you, Your Worship. And to follow up on Councillor Reid's point about the trash bash, We have the first annual Quinte West Environmental Stewardship Awards that are still open for nominations. They close on April the 25th. It's the first year of the awards, and there are 3 categories: individuals, businesses, and organizations, which can include nonprofits or community-led groups, schools, etc. So you have a few days remaining to recognize those individuals or organizations or businesses that have contributed to making Quinte West the best and to leading on environmental stewardship, certainly an important issue in the community. So I would invite anyone to give Google a search, and the awards nomination page will pop up, and put some names in. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, well, just to expand on the Batawa Easter egg hunt, it starts, according to mine, 9 to 12, and I think 9:30 is younger people, and later on it's the older individuals like Councilor McHugh and Councilor Allier looking for Easter eggs. So,
Not gonna hide them, are they? We'll never find them.
anyways, that's Saturday. It'll be a good day, a great day. So thank you very much. Yeah, and I think that's. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think we're good. Okay. Any disclosures again of and the general nature thereof? Declare that closed. Okay. Approval of the agenda, please. Move in a second. Councilor Sharp, Councilor McHugh, all in favor? Carried, thank you. Approval of the minutes, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025 be approved. And further, that the minutes of the closed session council meeting held on April 2nd be approved as well. Okay. All right, all in favor of that one? That's what Did I not get a mover? Okay, Councilor Allier has moved, Councilor Stedall second. All in favor? Okay, thank you. And then the next one is the minutes of the special council meeting held on Wednesday, April the 9th. I need a mover. Councilor McHugh moves, seconded by Councilor Quinte. Okay, any questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. All right, now I'm at delegations and presentations. We got our acting CEO, Chris Angelo, is going to talk to us about the weather. No, it's an update. Update regarding recycling, right? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Your Worship. I'm just waiting for the presentation to be put up on the screen, and thank you for that. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council and members of the public. Today, I just want to give you a bit of an overview and an update on changes to the recycling program and in fact, the whole sort of waste collection program that's happening and going to be affecting our municipality. If I want to take you a little bit back in history for a moment, back to the early 1980s with regard to recycling. In 1983, the City of Kitchener-Waterloo mandated the first curbside recycling program in Ontario, followed by Mississauga in 1986. The color blue for the blue box was chosen to stand out while sitting at the curb, and the size of the boxes were specifically made so that kids of the day wouldn't take them and use them to store the old records, if you can imagine back in the day. This blue box project only seemed to grow as time went on. In 1990, the Centre South Hastings Waste Services Board, known today as Quinte Waste Solutions, was formed by 9-member municipalities, including Quinte West, the Belleville, Prince Edward County, Tynega, Tweed, Stirling, Rawdon, etc. And included curbside residential recycling, included commercial recycling for the different programs, household hazardous waste, and electronics waste collection. In 1991, the program was expanded, and it was called actually the Blue Box 2000 program, if you remember back in the day. In 1994, the Clean and Green program was implemented by Quinte Waste Solutions, and many of you remember that's now known as the Household Hazardous Waste program that exists today, and that was expanded to include electronics and batteries as well. Now in Ontario, there are recycling receptacles in nearly every public space and a successful Blue Box program in nearly every municipality in Ontario. Since its inception, we had, in early 1990, at that time we had a 26% waste diversion from the landfill has grown to well over 66% diversion in our local municipalities. A great program that started with 9-member municipalities. And in addition to all of that, Quinte Waste Solutions was also responsible for the time for looking at opportunities to look at a centralized landfill site in this entire area. And in fact, my dad at the time was part of the committee that looked at several different properties from the county all the way up to Bancroft, looking at a central landfill site for all of us to use at that time. That never came to fruition, but that was certainly sort of the mandate of Quinte Waste Solutions. So to today, what you're seeing, sorry, the Blue Box program this year is transitioning to for a number of municipalities in Ontario. And we had picked at a number of years ago to be the last sort of transition municipality, trying to figure out and learn what other municipalities had gone through and learn from some of those strategies that they've implemented. What's happening across the province is that the Ontario government is implementing what they call extended producer responsibility, where producers of the packaging and the paper products will be responsible for the end of life of those materials, the pickup of collection and the end of life management of those. So in July 17th of this year, Quinte West will officially transition from Quinte Waste Solutions to Circular Materials of Ontario that would be responsible for the entire Blue Box program. They have hired a contractor through a procurement process, and that contractor is E360, the same contract that provides our garbage and organics program throughout our municipality and throughout part of this eastern region of Ontario. July 21st is the new curbside collection schedule that will begin, and they'll take over the recycling program. What's changing for all of us is that come July 21st is the dates for collection are going to change for all the 90% of our residents in our municipality. In addition, on the Quinte Waste Solutions Board will continue to provide the Household Hazardous and Electronics program to the end of this year, at which time it will transition over to a new contractor. And that procurement process is out right now in consultation with the City of Belleville, and will determine who that contractor will be come January 1st, 2026. In addition, we understand through the regulation that the province will be implementing a new province-wide list that will hopefully encompass more recyclables be allowed in the recycling stream. This map is a bit of a highlight of the new collection program. So you can see that depending on where you reside in Quinte West, 90% of the municipality dates for collection will change, and that will include organics, waste, and recycling. We have no control over the date for recycling, so in concert with our provider for garbage and organics, we thought it would be best for our municipality to have the same date for collection for all waste streams in our municipality. So in fact, it's not dependent on the ward structure anymore, it's depending on where you reside. And you can see where it's split down through the center of the Trent River, and it's down certain roads. Effective tonight or early tomorrow morning, any resident can log on to our database through our GIS system and search their residence and find out when their new collection date is. They can also call into City Hall and ask us customer service rep the same question. So the changes to the program, as many of you will recall from earlier reports I provided to Council, is that non-eligible sources, Council has already agreed to collect and have picked up throughout our municipality. And those include the downtown commercial areas of Trenton and Frankfurt. They also include city facilities. Come July 17th, multi-residences will also have now curbside collection of their Blue Box program, where typically now they would have a large bin that residents in those apartments would place their recycling into. But that's going to be allowed to be picked up by the producers of that material. As you can imagine, there's a great deal of communication that needs to go out from the city as well as Circular Materials and Material in regards to these changes. Our communication staff have been fantastic in preparing and getting organized to present all this material to the public. We're looking at a campaign that's going to be starting tomorrow with rack cards, with message board signs, with different information that's going out to all members of the public starting tomorrow. In addition to all of that, there's also going to be as I said, the interactive map on our website where residents can log on to the website, plug in their address, and find out when their new collection date is going to be come the end of July of this year. So just in terms of the household hazardous waste program that currently exists, from now to December 31st, it's going to be continued to be managed by Quinte Waste Solutions. We're going to continue to have the mobile events through Quinte West, and we'll continue to have the availability of the depot at Belleville, Public Works Yard at 75 Walbridge Crescent, where residents can take their household hazardous waste there. Going forward, we're in this procurement process, as I mentioned, with the City of Belleville to hire a contractor to do this January 1st, 2026 going forward. And again, that's going to include the same mobile events that we have in Quinte West throughout our wards, as well as having the depot available in the City of Belleville. In addition to all of this, our communication staff have been working with my public works staff. So beginning in 2026, we're looking at producing an annual waste and recycling calendar for all of our residents. So I'll outline the curbside waste collection, the organics program, the recycling collection, hazardous waste and electronics. We'll put items like the leaf and lard waste collection in there, and so much more will be all part of that calendar. So for some of you that are familiar with the calendar that's available in Northumberland County and other municipalities, it's going to be modeled similar to that, where it's one-stop shopping. You can look at the calendar, look at the different days of the month, and it'll show you what when those different dates are coming up about the mobile events for household hazardous waste, when leaf and yard waste dates are, when large and bulky pickup days are, which are going to continue to be on Friday, et cetera. So many of you will remember that when we talked about this earlier, that as we transition to this province-wide recycling program, there are a lot of shifts from the cost from the taxpayer to the producers. So we're estimating at this point in time that, as you may recall, we're spending about 1.6 million on recycling on average. We're going to estimate a savings of about $1 million or better going forward, beginning in 2026. And those cost savings resulting from this shift in the transition of recycling to the producers will be included in our 2026 budget deliberations, which will start in the fall of this year going forward. And again, I encourage all of you, and our communication staff are encouraging all of you and members of the public to follow us more on our website at quintewest.ca/waste. And I'd be happy to entertain any questions that council may have.
Thank you very much, sir. The only thing you left out is how smooth everything moved ahead.
It's been, Your Worship, it's been a difficult process to say the least, as we're still trying to understand all of the changes happening with the changeover to Circular Materials of Ontario. We're fortunate enough that the same contractor that's picking up our garbage and organics is the same contractor in this region for our recycling program. What I'm most concerned about is that come the end of July of this year, when residents have concerns about the recycling not being picked up, is we don't have any control over that anymore. We won't have the ability to answer any questions. We're setting up links that residents can directly call CMO or the contractor. We're setting up those connections where residents can email to Circular Materials and Material, but ultimately, because we're not part of that program and funding that program, we really have no control over that. And that's sort of my dilemma right now is that whole communication piece, is getting that message out to all of our residents and all of your constituents on the huge changes coming forward.
Thank you. Any questions for our CEO, Angela? Councillor Stedall first, and then Councillor Quinte. Oh, you're good? Okay, Councillor Stedall.
Just a question about the actual box. It won't, will it change, or if people will have to do exchanges and that type of thing? I know that's always a question that comes up. Do we have to, change the whole system, or is it basically the same going forward? We take a blue box to the corner and they pick it up, or how's that work?
Through your worship to Councillor Stedall, excellent question. We've been trying to get answers to that for the last 6 months, and we have not been successful for that. We had hoped that municipalities that have already transitioned the last couple of years would be able to give us some good advice on all of that. We have yet to hear any sort of ideas on what's happening. For those residents that, we do know that for those residents that are putting out clear bags of recycling now, whether that's still going to be picked up come July, the end of July this year, the answer is yes. Come January 1st, I don't know the answer to that yet. And I'm not sure even, right now we offer a program where if your blue box gets damaged, you're able to pick up another one either from City Hall or from Quinte Waste Solutions. I don't even know if that program is going to be offered by Circular Materials of Ontario.
Just keep doing what you're doing, and yeah, don't let them leave it there. Get it done. Okay. Thank you very much. We'll continue on then to, all right, Matt Tracy, Manager of Water Wastewater Services, City of Quinte West, will address us on all the short, small, simple reports that we've received. I thank all the people who put those reports together, Matt. They did a fantastic job. Yeah, I didn't measure mine, but I think it's about 3 or 4 inches thick, and yeah, they've certainly worked hard to do it. I'm sure Colette had something to do with it. I'm sure she did, because the last time I visited over there, they were working on them, and I think she's off now. Something to do with having a baby, I think that's, and she's definitely going through it. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thanks for the opportunity, Mayor and Council, to present the annual reports for water, wastewater, and stormwater systems. Yes, you're correct. I do have a good team of staff behind us, right from the operations level.
And I should
all the way
congratulate
to-
Colette, because
all the way to the administration staff that definitely spent a lot of time pulling this work together. So, just the overview. As you're aware, we have 3 water treatment systems that are interconnected. Essentially, we have 214 kilometers of water main that we maintain, and through that, we distribute over 5 million cubic meters of water to the community. And on the other side, we have 5 wastewater treatment plants, and a similar about 5.5 million cubic meters of wastewater is collected in 140 kilometers of pipe and treated and put back to the environment. Along with that, though, we also have 18 pumping stations that support conveying it to the treatment plants. We also have over 30 stormwater facilities that are being maintained, and we have a report on those specific coming up. I'll start just going through each facility and give you the highlights. Our Bayside Water Treatment Plant at Aikens Road. There were no adverse incidents of water quality. The water quality meets the provincial standards. We had a 100% inspection rating from the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks with respect to compliance. Again, the treated water flows were about 3,400 cubic meters of water per day treated and distributed from the facility, and that's about 30% of the rated capacity. The Frankfurt Water Treatment Plant, located at 174 North Trent Street, is same. Water quality is good, no adverse incidents. We had a 100% compliance rating with the annual inspection. And similarly, we're running about 30 to 40% average day flow, depending on the 3 or 5 year average. So, Facility is operating well. I will note the upgraded generator is going in, and along with our scrubber, chlorine scrubber that was identified last year. They're being installed soon. Trenton Water Treatment Plant, located at 20 Chester Road. Again, no adverse water quality incidents, 100% inspection rating. Water quality is very good. The facility is running just under 30% capacity. And again, that's interconnected with Bayside and Frankfurt, so we have the ability to supplement within our one system. Of note, we are working on our elevated storage tank and updated pumping station at the Mount Pelion site. And just note that we're working on retaining a consultant for that design environmental assessment project shortly. On to wastewater, the Battlewater Wastewater Treatment Facility. We did note we had 3 bypass or biomass washout events. One was due to heavy rain in a peak rain in July, very localized event, and the other 2 were short duration events that required some maintenance. They did not last very long. In terms of flows, the facility is running at about 61% capacity and generally speaking operating well. Frankfurt Wastewater Treatment Plant. Again, we had one reported tertiary bypass event in 2024. Again, it was one event that due to a rainfall. Again, short duration. Facility capacity-wise is hovering between 78 and 80% capacity, which is good. And of note there, we are working on trying to line sewers to reduce infiltration and inflow, and I'm happy to report that we just completed almost 1,300 meters of that a couple weeks ago. So I'm looking forward to analyzing results over the next few years to see the effects of that. But on the positive note, that work is extending the life of those pipes by over 50 years. Stonecrest Wastewater Plant, again, just off of Aikens Road. This facility is operating very well, about 33% of the rated capacity. The effluent quality is exceptional, and I'm happy to say the last round of upgrades the facility's working excellent. Trenton Wastewater Plant, again, we had 3 planned and 3 unplanned events. One reported bypass was methane gas. We had a release due to a valve failure, was corrected fairly quickly. We had some other planned events for preventative maintenance that we had to report with respect to our filters and filter maintenance and rebuilds. And so that's positive that we're doing the work and planning it. And in terms of flow, this again is positive. Average flow is around just under 70%. I think, again, this reflects a number of things, ongoing maintenance work we've performed and rehabilitation in the system. Anyway, that number seems to be fairly flat, so it hasn't been increasing with growth. The engineering design work for the next phase of the expansion is planned to start this summer, and we're working on the procurement for the consultant. Youngs Cove Wastewater Treatment Plant. Again, this facility, it's operating at a lower end of its capacity at 22% currently. Operates very well. We're very pleased with the operation and the effluent quality it produces. This is the second year for our sanitary collection system report. This was implemented as part of the Consolidated Linear Infrastructure ECA that the city now has. Of note, We have reviewed and approved 7 alterations to the system from the development community. That saves time, allows development to occur without having the MOE approval process. We had 2 small system spill events due to blockages, but both of those were dealt with our response in under an hour. And again, as I said, we're doing ongoing infiltration inflow investigation and work. Stormwater collection, stormwater system, as I mentioned, we have 30 facilities. In the stormwater side, we approve 8 alterations through the CLI ECA amendment for development and our own systems. In 2024, we have previously reported that we had an engineering firm complete comprehensive assessments on these facilities. The general census results of that, our works are in fair condition. Some maintenance work is required, and we're planning that, and you'll see over the next 10 years, the city will be utilizing the allocated capital budget to clean up and rehabilitate these systems. That's my presentation for today. If you have any questions,
You're on first.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. With regards to Young's Cove, I get this question asked all the time. I know there's a certain amount of affluent. There's a tank at each house that has to be pumped on a regular basis. How often do we do that? And who's paying for that? How are we covering the expense for that today and going forward?
through Your Worship, there's a homeowner responsibility agreement that is signed at the time of taking out a wastewater account with the city. The developer or the real estate's supposed to provide that at the time of sale as well. That being said, the responsibility agreement says it's the homeowner's responsibility to maintain. They own the tank. However, the nature of it, the city, as part of the rate structure, will clean out the tank on a 3-year cycle, and we've started that. Actually, next week we're doing some tanks that are coming due on a 3-year cycle, and that is part of our treatment. We remove that, take it to our larger facility and have it further processed. But other than the 3-year schedule provided by the city, if the tank has issues or plugs, it's the homeowner's responsibility.
Go ahead.
Just to follow up if I could, please, so I understand, do they see a separate listing on their wastewater or their water bill for that pumping, or is that just all integrated into the fee, just part of the service?
That is part of the rate structure, so they don't see that on their bill. We keep track of at the time of occupancy of the house when it's built, and then we have in our maintenance system, we pump those, we advise the homeowners, let them know the schedule, we'll come and maintain the tank. But then, as I said, anything outside of our planned regular maintenance, clogs due to flushing improper wipes or anything down, that is the homeowner's responsibility.
Any more this way? Councilor Sharp?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I do want to acknowledge Mr. Tracy and the staff team. I found the presentation very helpful to summarize, as the mayor said, all the detailed compliance reports. And with the presentation, you've captured where we have had some bypasses, maintenance that has been done, but the bottom line is it's all safe and in very good hands. So I want to thank you very much for this and the presentation. My question, Mr. Tracy, just on the last slide, you referenced a consultant came in and did a bit of a condition report and overview, and you spoke to these things being in the capital budget. Are they items that you feel we already identified or in that 10-year plan? Were there big surprises, or basically they have been included from your perspective in seeing that outcome report?
Through Your Worship, yeah, the consultant's report, it allowed the city to initiate. We've worked with developers prior to assuming new facilities. We've provided them deficiency lists that need to be cleaned up. And in addition, we have worked with our 10-year capital plan to include those items and budget accordingly.
Councilor Card?
Thank you, Your Worship, and through you to Mr. Tracy. I was excited to see the lining sheath work in Frankfurt at the wastewater plant. I recall last year when we were discussing the wastewater rates that some of the investments for the term that we chose with the pricing and the rate increases facilitated some of this work with the lining and the sheaths and some of the stormwater work to create some efficiencies and hopefully better the system and lower some of the capacity utilizations over time. So I was happy to see that. How long do you think will some of those effects, as you roll out more and more of that work, will those effects kind of become more, if there are gains to be had or significant ones, hopefully, will they be a few years coming, or some will be sooner than others at different plants, or what are your feelings on that?
Through your worship, we analyze flows on an annual basis, and again, those type of things we look at them as long-term trends. And then from those trends, then we can make decisions on timing for development. So yeah, I would say we have to look at 3 to 5 years to fully see the impacts of some of this work. Again, we've just started. This is the first lining program we've done. I think as we expand that and work forward, then yeah, over time we're going to see benefits.
Anyone else coming this way? Coming this way. Councillor Stedall.
Thank you, Worship. I too appreciate the work that's done by Mr. Tracy and your staff. I think these are excellent reports, and I know we always get very high marks for the water and the sewer. I just had a couple questions. So, with the Frankfurt wastewater treatment plant and also shown on the Trenton wastewater treatment slides, you had the maximum daily flows were 183% and 166% respectively. Those are sort of one-time events, like they're not, I see the averages are lower, but I understand that those things happen when severe rainstorms and things. Is that correct?
Through your worship, yeah, that's correct. The facilities are designed to accept maximum day flows. I think Frankfurt portions of the plant are designed to convey up to 9,000 cubic meters a day. So that the treatment and the average day flows are used to look at long-term trends, but the facilities are designed to handle peak flow events to a certain extent, and this is quite common across Ontario.
Just a quick comment that thank you very much to your staff, Mr. Tracy, and of course, Mr. Angelo, your immediate supervisor, to make sure all these things happen. But these reports are available to the citizens if they wish. They can attend City Hall and or give us a call and let us know if you want to read through these reports. You're more than welcome to do so. That's why they're being presented today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Matt, we used to have far more bypasses than you've had. Do you want to explain to everybody, I know the improvements have reduced the bypasses, but even before when we used to have them, we weren't able, and what are you able to do with bypasses today? In terms
through your worship, over the years we've made considerable improvements to the collection system as well as the treatment facilities. There's a number of reasons the bypass numbers have reduced. We've done considerable capital work to improve the equipment and the level of treatment. However, there are, with climate change and that type of rain events seem to be considerably different and sometimes heavier. So, generally it's just through good operation of the facilities and upkeep that's allowing us to maintain and minimize bypass events.
When you do have a bypass, what are you able to do with that fluid that you have to bypass? Aren't you able to treat it somewhat?
Again, yes, I'll qualify further. What we call a bypass event is, I'm reporting these as tertiary bypasses. So essentially, it's still secondary treated with conventional treatment and settling. It's just bypassing our filter system that can't handle the final third level of treatment. And it still receives final disinfection through the ultraviolet
That's
light
great.
system.
That's great, because, that keeps the quality of the water in the river and the bay up to where it needs to be. So I thank all the residents of Quinte West for doing their due diligence and helping make sure that we exceed the ministry environment expectations. So thank you very much. And
Thank you.
I appreciate all that's being done. So, anyone else? Have I missed anyone? Okay, thank you very much. Just before I forget this, I want to put out that I did receive the schedules for the Hawks next session, and I'll tell you what they are so everybody hears it. The one question that's been asked to me are what are the prices of tickets? I don't know. I'm assuming they're all the same. Are they up $2?
$20 for, sorry, $20 for adults, but seniors are less than that.
Yeah, okay. So is that the same as what they were, or is that?
I think they're a couple dollars up.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that answers that. First game is this Saturday at 5 p.m. at the Dunk, okay? Then the April 21st at 7:30 at the Milton for the next game. April 23rd is 7:30 here, and then the next one is the 25th at Friday in Milton at 7:30, and I'm sure we'll be done by then, but just in case the Hawks have to play another game, April 28th is, I think, it's 7 o'clock in Trenton. And, pardon? Is it? Okay, okay, all right. And May the 1st in Milton, then May the 3rd is here in Trenton at 5:30. So that's the list of the games that I have that are coming forward. So thanks to the Hawks, they've had a great year. I also thank our fire department, our police department for attending the games. Your presence helps to maintain a level of sanity amongst all the fans, and I really appreciate the fact that they are there, and I know other people do too. So again, thank you very much. So, all right, I think that catches us up there. So okay, I'm on to delegations. Yes, I'm on to delegations, and who's on first? Shelley with what you call an electric bus. Come on up, keep us charged.
Is it on?
Chief, don't forget to save something, okay? I mean, I know where you're headed, but okay, go ahead, sorry.
Anyways, I went there, and after that, they told me, they said, did you see that patient? Because I called the patient.
Is that coming from one of the slide decks? Yeah.
I said, you know, have dementia. Every time I go there, she yell at me. She like, and she'll, oh, really? Oh, it's not on her.
Ryan or Alexis, I think you have something coming through.
Yes, through.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, Mayor and Council. So I just wanted to say we're here this afternoon to present our full ZEV implementation and rollout plan. This is the plan that we have been working on with Quinte, who is going to present it. And this is the project that was funded partially through Quinte West, Infrastructure Canada, and Quinte themselves. So just to kind of lay the groundwork of what this plan is going to cover, this is for just the public transit fixed route fleet that we're going to be talking about. That's the data that we had that they could use to come up with the results that they're going to present. So Ryan and Alexis will do the presentation, and then we can have some questions afterwards. Thanks.
Through your worship, members of council, members of the public, thank you so much for having us here, and good afternoon. My name is Ryan Walfla, and I'm joined by my colleague Alexis Dunphy, and we both work with the Canadian Urban Transit Research and Innovation Consortium. We're a nonprofit that works with Canadian transit agencies across the nation to support transit decarbonization plans with full battery electric bus or hydrogen fuel cell bus fleets. We've been working with Quinte Transit, with Shelley Ackers, Cal Ackers, and the Quinte Transit team since 2023 on this plan. An absolute pleasure to be doing this work with Quinte Transit. The study summary breaks down our planning into 8 different analyses that we've conducted that encapsulate planning through a environmental, economic, and technological standpoint. Our analysis begins with an energy analysis where we model and predict the performance of battery electric buses on Quinte Transit's route network to see the success rates, to predict how a full fleet battery electric bus fleet would look with the current fleet design and scheduling. This feeds into a fleet and infrastructure rollout plan, which details the year-by-year additions of battery electric buses and removal of gasoline buses in the fleet, as well as allied infrastructure. This feeds into a facilities assessment where we visited Quinte Transit's garage, where we looked into the necessary facility upgrades, electrical upgrades, and retrofit costs that would be associated with this transition. On the note of costing, we've also conducted a economic analysis of predicted total fleet project costs, as well as a total cost of ownership on a per bus basis. This leads into a greenhouse gas emissions reduction analysis, which is part of our environmental analysis, showing how electric buses in the fleet compared to gasoline buses in terms of carbon equivalent emissions. And we've also looked at this as well through a social analysis lens, looking at transit equity and how the transit route network overlaps with communities of disadvantage. And we've also looked into a training workforce development on training hours. And finally, a risk assessment that's conducted, just highlighting common risks and mitigation strategies. So to go into a bit more detail, we looked at 3 different battery electric bus types. We looked at 30-foot battery electric buses, both with either electric heaters and diesel heaters on board, as well as 25-foot battery electric buses with electric heaters on board. The main outcomes from our energy analysis here on this graph show each of the routes that we studied for Quinte Transit. Each of the bars represent the energy consumption of each of the battery electric buses in the study. Essentially looking at how feasible this transition would be on a one-to-one replacement, meaning one battery electric bus replaces one gasoline bus in the service. To sum up the graph, essentially the way that the route network is, the energy needed for one battery electric bus to complete one full route, with the exception of weekday route D, shows that a single battery electric bus would not be able to complete a full route. However, there are definite options in terms of expanding the fleet. This also takes into consideration that en route charging or battery electric buses charging en route is not a factor that was considered in this analysis due to real estate considerations and constraints. Keeping that in mind, to minimize the fleet size increase, we found that for 30-foot battery electric buses to take over the service, the fleet size would need to increase by 86%. And the 25-foot electric bus solution would necessitate a 157% increase of the fleet. Looking at this through the lens of the end result of the timeline, each of the three plans works towards a complete placement of the gasoline fleet by 2040. And depending on the pathway forward, there would be 13 to 18 battery electric buses in the fleet by 2040 and 7 to 9 chargers within Quinte Transit's garage. Through our facility assessment analysis, we looked at and predicted the retrofitting costs that would necessitate the proper functioning of the battery electric buses for this transition. With the 25 battery electric bus solution at the far right being the least expensive retrofitting cost specifically, as well as having the least amount of power demand due to having a smaller onboard battery. On a per bus basis, in terms of total cost of ownership, we looked at, on a per bus basis, not just the acquisition costs for one gasoline bus or one battery electric bus, but we've incorporated all associated capital costs and operating costs into this per bus figure. The outcomes of this show that in comparison to a single gasoline bus that would cost approximately $500,000, 30-foot battery electric buses would cost approximately 6 times more than a gasoline bus, and a 25-foot bus would cost approximately 2 times. And then looking at the total project cost, which would be the total fleet-wide costs over the study period. For the gasoline fleet, if it were to remain from now until 2040, this would cost a total of $8 million, with a 30-foot battery electric bus solution costing approximately 3 times that much, and a 25-foot BEV solution costing approximately 2 times as much. However, the savings would come in the long term through an environmentally sustainable solution, with this graph showing that between 2036 and 2040, when the battery electric buses would be planned to replace the gasoline bus fleet, we see that in comparison to the large bar on the left showing the gasoline emissions, that each of the battery electric bus solutions would decrease greenhouse gas emissions by approximately 4 to 5 times. We also conducted a social analysis in this study as a way to highlight a community disadvantage across 6 different variables to guide any potential route expansions or to prioritize ZEB or battery electric bus deployments. We looked at this through clusters of noise-sensitive areas. We looked at it through air quality in Quinte West and the surrounding area, highlighting also clusters of low-income communities, concentration of senior citizens, clusters of populations with no high school or post-secondary diplomas, and communities that spend 30% or more of their income on household expenses. And we found through our outcomes with the social analysis that all of the routes that were incorporated into the study are all associated with areas of high disadvantage across each of the criteria. This is something that is also broken down in our final report, showing specifically which communities have sort of disadvantage and can help as a planning tool for any route expansions. With the training workforce development assessment that we conducted, we looked at 2 case studies, one with Burn AC Transit in California and Winnipeg Transit in Manitoba, where we see that to onboard a transit staff to zero emissions technologies in California in this particular transit agency would necessitate 318 hours of onboarding training. And in Winnipeg, Manitoba through Winnipeg Transit, the estimated time per employee would be 50 hours of training. Finally, we conducted a risk analysis, which is an accumulation of common risks that are faced by transit agencies and mitigation measures to lessen these risks. And primary risks are typically around training and operations surrounding insufficient maintenance of electric bus technologies. Our mitigation strategies center around our continued relationship with Quinte Transit beyond this project. As a member of QTRIC, Quinte Transit and QTRIC can work together with our vast network of member transit agencies, bus manufacturers, academic partners to ensure that Quinte Transit is connected with the proper resources throughout the whole timeline to ensure that these risks are mitigated, as typically these are risks are most severe if an agency is facing these risks alone, and our organization works to ensure that it's a collaborative effort across all stakeholders and industry players. In summary, we looked at all of the key data points that we gathered from the study, including greenhouse gas reductions, project costs, and fleet size increases, as well as looking at how policy compliance that has been on the path of prioritizing these climate-friendly solutions. So we've put this together in a decision-making matrix. So a data-driven recommended scenario through our findings showed that a 30-foot battery electric bus solution with electric heaters would be the best pathway forward that strikes the right balance between economic outputs, environmental outputs, and technological. In closing, it's been great working on this project with Quinte Transit, Shelley and Calackers, the rest of the Quinte team, and we've found a great value in working this project, and I believe that it is definitely mutual. And although this project is coming to a close, it's not a close of the relationship between us and Quinte Transit. Thank you so much.
Your worship.
Any questions? Councillor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Certain areas in Peterborough were out without power for a couple of weeks. Do you have an emergency plan in place to power the buses if we don't have power here for a couple of weeks? For example, City Hall and the Y have generators, but is there an emergency plan in place if we don't have power for a couple of weeks so people can get to work or move around the city?
Yes, yeah, through your worship, thank you for the question. In terms of backup generators for the worst case scenarios of power going down, in our facility assessment, we were touching upon the retrofit costs, and hope after this study, we would recommend Quinte Transit in terms of potentially creating a new facility to house the additional buses, that this is a priority in terms of building out a facility and incorporating these backup solutions into the current facility as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Did you factor in the cost of a new facility in your report then?
So it's through your worship. In terms of a new facility cost, these retrofits concern the current facility. In our reporting, we recommend a further analysis on a new facility, but that in this development, we would be working with Quinte Transit on this and using this particular study as a basis to inform future developments in this vein.
Councilor Boyce.
Thank you, Your Worship. Ryan, and I didn't see it on your charts. Did you look at the charging capacity times and the route kilometers when you determined that the electric buses were the way to go? Which I agree.
Sorry, Councillor Boyce, your mic's off. So might not be able to hear
I'm
you.
sorry, Ryan. Did you look at the charging capacity times and the route kilometers per day when you looked at the assumption that the electric buses were the way to go for our current fleet?
Through your worship, thank you for the question. Yes, in terms of putting together these this three-pronged plan, we definitely looked into route kilometers in terms of essentially that was our first step in calculating success rates, is that we create a model of the transit network that includes route distances, changes in elevation, stopping and starting points that a bus would face driving along a route. So that's essentially the first criteria there. In terms of charging rate, this was factored into the facility retrofit costs with the facility assessment. So these were placed the outcomes essentially for the energy analysis feed into the rest of the project and include the route network topologies, topographies.
Thanks, Ryan. And secondly, then, did we have enough buffer zone to safely do it? Like, I mean, if we were to extend a route by an hour down the road or something, did we have enough buffer so that the bus would have enough power for the entire day?
Through your worship, thank you for the question. In terms of, while the bulk of the analysis is on the current routes, distances, and scheduling in order to preserve the operational nature of the Quinte Transit system, we do have a buffer that we calculate with the fleet replacements to ensure that a most efficient fleet increase, but also ensuring that it's not so efficient that there's no spare considerations.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
What's to add, or you're good, Shelley? You're good? Okay. Well, thank you very much. We know that the best way to run a bus if it's electric is downhill, right? Thank you very much.
Your worship, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll go on to public input. Anybody for public input? I see Carrie is here. She's got a report, but we could, if you have any questions on her report, we'll do that right now, and then she can depart too, if she wants to. Any questions on, no? None? Okay. All right, thank you very much. We'll keep going in corporate services. I missed something. Staff report by Josh Masinski, Director of Corporate Services City, regarding Department of National Defense Land Use Licensing Agreement, military training exercise on Bata Island, be received, and that the clerk be directed to prepare a bylaw authorizing the execution of land use licensing agreement with the Department of National Defense for Council's consideration at the May 7th, 2025 meeting. Okay. Need a move by Councilor Sharp, seconded by Councilor Boyce. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Next is staff report regarding encroachment agreement, the Ultra Westergaard, Jeffrey Turner, Bibke Vale, and Hanny Westergaard to allow the existing building at 132 and 134 Victoria Avenue to encroach on the municipal road allowance for Henry Street and to allow the existing concrete porch and related porch overhang to encroach in the municipal road allowance for Victoria Avenue. Okay, moved by Councillor McHugh, seconded by seconder to get it on the table.
Councillor Reid.
Councillor Reid, okay. Okay, thank you. It's on the table. Any questions or comments?
Just one question.
Go ahead.
These landowners and future landowners, they're going to be able to maintain insurance on their property in this encroachment? Just want to make sure.
As far as I know, everything's legal. No reason why they can't.
Well, they need to have insurance, though. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not.
Your Worship, that's been conveyed to them, so that's part of the license to encroach agreement, yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay. Next one is right here. Peter Adam, information Q technology update. Staff report by Peter Adam, Manager of Information Technology regarding technology update be received. Any questions for Peter? I need a mover and a seconder. Councillor Boyce, Councillor Card. Any questions? Wow, Peter, you're getting off lucky. I guess we ask our questions privately, right? We don't want everybody to know how smart we are when it comes to the information technology that you put together. Yeah, and thank you very much because you do keep it working, and I appreciate the work everybody does. Even though when I go down there, the lights are always out. I know that, but I know you think better in the dark, right?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried, thank you. All right, financial services staff report 2025-00061 by Caleb Denell, Director of Finance, City Treasurer regarding PI investment results. The first quarter 25 be received. Councillor Stedall move. Councillor McHugh seconds. Questions for Director Denell? Any questions? Do you have any cash for me? Not likely, right?
Got a question here.
Oh, I had a question. Sorry, Councillor Card. I'm sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Worship. I was just going to ask Director Denowden about, notice that the balances were all, closing balances at the end of the quarter were all zero. So if you wanted to speak to the migration of those funds. And then I did have another, just if you could comment briefly on, I believe this was set up in 2022, looking at the outcome framework, which was quite interesting in terms of what the kind of strategic goal was in terms of when council set up the funds and, how often you're utilizing, drawing them down or adding to, if you could speak a little bit to that, because this is very elegantly put here, basically, that the different instruments, equities to bonds and the ratios and the target date that we would be drawing down funds or a perpetual just, asset management just in perpetuity, growing the fund. The allocation would be significantly different between cash, bonds, and equities. So I just was curious on the migration of the funds and then also kind of what council's intent was initially when they set it up in 2022 in terms of drawdowns and lifespan and that sort of thing.
Yeah, through your worship. So you're correct. January 2022 is when we joined this prudent investor board, and there are 7. We were one of the first 7 municipalities to join it. Since then, several more have joined it, and the purpose was really so that we look at our cash flow needs internally for 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 10 years, and we look at multiple reserves that we have, everything from winter control to our gas tax reserves, and we can kind of time when that money's coming in and going out. If we believe that there will be funds not touched collectively in a long-term period, it's better for that fund to sit in a long-term investment and earn greater returns. So we basically take all the funds that we believe will sit there over the next 10 years, give the time frame to those funds, and then we pass those funds on to the one JIB board who invests it according to the timelines we think we need it. So the long-term investments can go into equities, the short-term into bonds or cash or GICs. And anything less than a year, as the treasurer, I'll invest those into very safe GICs or short-term investments. More recently, we've sent some staff reports to council on the OCIO program, which is basically establishing a chief investment officer. It's some slight changes to the program because it was so new, and those changes have allowed us to attract more municipalities to pool their funds into this investment program. So we're getting more bigger municipalities kind of joining Quinte West and several others, and pooling our investments to get greater returns. And so what happened here is that you'll see this quarterly investment report is ended March 4th. That's when we took the funds out of the old investment program, and we put funds into the new program. And the next quarterly report will look a little different. It'll have a look of from our new investor in terms of showing kind of fees, management fees, and showing some of our investments. At the same time, we divested or took out of this fund. Quinte West also took out $5 million of approximately $38 million of its investments, put it back into the city coffers. As you know, during budget discussions, we're slowly eating away, I'll say, at our reserves. And so I have a plan to slowly reduce this investment balance. And so you'll see quite a bit of it is in safe bonds and investments, because we know that over the long term, our reserves are depleting.
Thank you. Any other question? Councillor Stittle.
Oh, thank you, Worship. So the amount of money that you took out in March is probably a good move given the state of the current economy. And I guess the other thing too is just to follow through with what you're saying is that it's a long-term investment. So what has been going on for the last 2 weeks is not likely to, in the long term, hopefully, impact the investments, because there is the longer term is going to get us through these ups and downs that are going on right now. That's the intent.
Thank you. I hope so too.
Yeah, that's correct, through your worship. It's important, some municipalities only report annually. I know we report quarterly. It's interesting to see the balance, but it is important that it is a long-term investment and not to get too worried in the short term with short-term market fluctuations.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and I appreciate your honesty, and I appreciate the fact that every time I ask that question for money, you give me the same answer, no. And that's the right answer for all of us, the no, because I know that you're doing your job and everybody else is too, so thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Need to call the vote, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, all in favor of the, yeah, thank you, okay. Just received anyways, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, well, Carrie, you're on. You're still here. The only question I have, you've got in here, staff recommends that properties designated as agricultural zoning are not exempt from the prohibitions and penalties regarding cats at large. How are you going to enforce that? Come on up. I don't have any cats, but I'm not obviously a cat lover.
Is this already? Oh, it's on. So sorry, forgive me, through your worship, you had asked how we enforce this?
Yeah.
Or how we, so this is already in place and it's already being enforced, so complaints run through our animal control service that's contracted.
But how, I'm concerned with the agricultural area in particular.
Well, it's already in place, so this
I
is
know, but are you able to enforce it?
Yeah, we are currently enforcing this. So the delegation that came had requested an exemption to agricultural zones. And so that staff is recommending that we do not create that exemption.
All right, that's fine. And any updates that you want to mention that you haven't reported on? Anything called pig or no? You're good?
No, thank you.
You're good? Okay. Thank you very much. We won't get into that one. We'll be here for breakfast. Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, go ahead.
We're not going to change any bylaws. We're not going to change this bylaw in regards to cats, I guess, for agricultural properties. That's the staff recommendation, but I must say that I find that interesting. Is it just because we don't want to change the bylaw, or we don't know how to put an exemption together for agricultural properties? Like, it was recommended in the presentation, I read here that they were requesting like a certain amount of distance from the agricultural structure. And I guess then the other question is like, why did these people even come forward? Was there a complaint against their property? I must admit, I don't recall that part of the conversation as to why they even came forward.
Brian, Director Jardine.
Yes, through Mr. Mayor. So the presentation, I believe I'm right in saying the presentation was partly generated by the issuance of some tickets, or the impounding of that individual's animal and the resulting issuing of tickets. But obviously the presenter was presenting a bigger question around providing an exemption in the bylaw, and I think maybe the question from Councillor Quinte is around, you know, how we go about enforcing this. I think it's almost the opposite situation. We have the ability to enforce it right now because cats at large, where we receive a complaint, an animal control impound the animal, we can follow through with that, and it's a clear path towards enforcement. One of the challenges that we reviewed and staff reviewed when putting together the recommendation was, in order to, it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to provide an exemption for an animal based on its origin, where it left from that morning, as it were. We would have no way of knowing that. We would have no way of animal control knowing that. We would essentially run through exactly the same process. We would receive the same complaints, and I think it's significant within the body of the report, just the scale of the complaints that we receive across the municipality. And of course, not all of them are in rural areas, but a significant proportion of them would be. So we would run through the same process. We would get the complaints, animal control would attend the site, would likely impound the animal, go through the same process. Now, if there was an exemption, there may not be a fine at the end if the animal is returned to its home base, which, as you'll see by the data, doesn't happen very often. So I think it's more that if council did provide this exemption, that would be very, very difficult, if not impossible, to enforce, because we would never know that the animal was coming from an agricultural property. The other thing I would mention as well is that as you know, within our rural areas, yes, there's agricultural properties, but there's also other types of properties as well, residential properties, rural properties, commercial, etc. Again, the animal control would have no way of being able to make a different call at the moment, as they're attending a site, because they would not know where the animal was from. The damage would still be done, the complaint would still be received.
Thanks. I always interpret difficulty into relates and costing the city more money, and I'm not interested in spending the city's money any further, so I guess I will agree with the recommendation. Thanks.
Okay. Councillor Stedall, question or?
I guess a question. So part of this is when these animals are caught and they are taken to the Humane Society, then they have to deal with them, and then we have to pay for that. So there's an additional cost to the city on that respect. And I guess is this like how many of the cats that are being picked up are from that are not returned are from agricultural areas? Is that anything that is tracked, or do we have any idea of knowing that?
Don't cats have tags?
No, through Mr. Chair, there's no split in the numbers for rural versus or agricultural versus urban animals. No.
Just to follow up, I mean, and knowing somebody that, has worked on a farm, been with a farm, the use of cats as a pest control is something
I
that's quite
agree.
common.
I agree.
And it has been for years. And so I can understand why, the people that are requesting the exemption have come forward, because it is something that people, that's the reason that you have the cats. But I also understand they can become a nuisance, and that's why we have a problem with the Humane Society on the other hand. So, but I agree with Councillor Quinte. I wouldn't want to see it cost the city any more money, but anyway, it's been.
Director.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just Councillor Shadow made a comment there that I forgot to kind of mention. I think it's important to mention is there is nothing here that prohibits the use of cats or to control vermin on an agricultural property within the boundaries of that property. The issue here and where we get the complaints and the pickups is where they stray onto other properties. So certainly we fully recognise the way in which cats are often used in that setting, and would fully support that within the owner's property.
Must be the guy that picks up the milk. He's complaining. Anyway, okay. Councillor Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I just want to clarify, too, that we respond to complaints regarding cats at large. Generally, staff don't go looking for a cat roaming. So these are cats that go on other people's property and they get a call, and generally they've done it more than once, a particular cat. So I support the recommendation that, just it applies to everyone and every cat, whether they live, I'm in a rural area and my cat could wander down the street to the barn. I don't have a cat right now, but this is the challenges you would face. So I do support the motion, and we all have to be mindful of our pets. Thank you. And those that are helping to keep varmints out too. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
We've got a mover and a seconder.
Did I not get a mover and a seconder? Okay. Councillor Card moves it, Councillor McHugh seconds it, and have the same vote. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay. All right. I guess the next one is the minutes of the Planning Advisory Committee be held March 20 be approved.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor McHugh. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. All right, the next one is Community Service, a resolution and staff report by Linda Lyle, Manager of Economic Development and Tourism, and Elizabeth Edwards, Economic Development Officer, regarding naming of the industrial park located at Venture Valley Drive and Caring Place Road be received, and that council approve Venture Drive Industrial Park as the name for the industrial park. Moved by Councillor
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Councillor Coonsey, seconded by Councillor Card. Questions or all in favor? Carried. That's good. Thank you. Next is Public Works Resolution Staff Report 2025-00056 by Matt Tracy, Manager of Water and Wastewater Services, regarding 24 Annual Drinking Water System Report, Annual Wastewater Performance Reports be received. Councillor McHugh moves. Councillor Boyce seconds. Any questions or comment? Sorry. All in favor? Thank you very much. Good report, Matt. Thank you very much. Make sure you thank all those people over there working with you. Yeah, good. Glad to see it. Next one is staff report by Matt Tracy, Manager of Water Wastewater Service, regarding 2024 Stormwater Collection System Annual Performance Report we received. Moved by Councillor Stedall, seconded by Councillor Reed. Thank you very much. All in favor? Great, okay. Correspondence, proclamation, submission received by Catherine McDonald, Marketing and Communication Specialist, Food Allergy Canada, requesting council proclaim the month of May as Food Allergy Awareness Month in the city of Quinte West. Mover, Councillor McHugh, seconder, Councillor Card. Questions or comments? All in favor? Thank you very much. I'm still trying to find some food I don't like, but I'm not allergic to any, so. Okay, and resolution, council proclaim May 2025. I thought I read that.
12th.
Sorry. I did that, didn't I? Guess I didn't read it all. Proclaim May 2020 as food, okay, no, awareness one, okay, all right. The next one, council proclaim May the 12th as Fibromyalgia Awareness Day in the city of Quinte West, and further that the Quinte West sign in the Veteran Skyway Bridge be illuminated in the color purple on May the 12th, pending no scheduling conflicts. Proclamation, no, that's it, okay. Need a mover and a seconder for this one? Councilor Reed moves, seconded by, I gotta have somebody, Councilor McHugh. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Thank you very much, okay. All right, so, what's this one here? The council proclaimed May the 18th to 24 as BON Week in the city of Quinte West, and further that council hosts a flag-raising ceremony on the May the 19th, 2025, with a time to be determined, and that the flag be flown for the duration of the week, May 18 to 24, to honor BON Week, and further that the city Quinte West sign, Veteran Skyway Bridge, be illuminated in the color blue from May 18 to 24, depending on any scheduling conflicts. Moved by Councilor Sharp, second by Councilor Boyce. Questions or comments? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay. The next one I've got is that council proclaim council proclaim May the 28th, 2025 as Menstrual Health Day in the city of Quinte West, and further that the Quinte West sign, Veteran Skyway Bridge, be illuminated in the color red on May the 28th, pending no scheduling conflicts. Okay, Councilor Stedall moves, seconded by Councilor Card. Questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much. Now I got printed information. Okay, printed information. Any comments or questions on that? No. I need a mover and a seconder for printed. Councilor Boyce, Councilor Elliott. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And non-printed information. That's a tough one. Okay, I guess I need a mover and a seconder for the non-printed, I guess, don't I?
No,
No, you're good? You're good for that one?
I'm
Okay.
good.
All right, notice of motion. Got none tonight, so that's good, and I think I need a mover and a seconder for bylaws, be read first, second, and third time. Councilor McHugh, Councilor Card. Any questions on that? All in favor? Carried, thank you.
You missed new business.
Did I miss? Oh, there's nothing, I didn't have anything under new business, so
I didn't know whether somebody else did.
Mr.
Anybody
Mayor,
else have something under new business?
wasn't there a supplementary agenda item for the Integrity Commissioner?
Sorry?
I was asking, I got a second email, a supplementary agenda item for discussing the Integrity Commissioner. Is on a separate
I didn't get it.
Through you to Councilor Quinte, yes, it was distributed to all of council earlier this week or late last week. It's just the bylaw to appoint the Integrity Commissioner. We were waiting for him to sign it. We previously had direction from council for the appointment, and we included it once we got it.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Anything else? Under new business? Go ahead.
Yes, under new business, sorry, Your Worship, I forgot to mention about the home show as well. It's coming up. It's going to be between, when you were mentioning about when the hockey games are going to be played, the home show's in the middle of all of that, so it may be a little cool in the arena, but, so that's April 25th to the 27th, and it is $3 per adult and free for children, so very worthwhile. There's lots of vendors that are going to be there.
That's right, and we do have a system to cover the ice, so it will be looked after for the next, whenever the next game is. Okay? I'm hoping everything's already done, but I can't guarantee anything. Okay, anything else? Councilor Card.
Thank you, Your Worship. I was just going to mention that we have 3 counselors in the pickleball tournament raising money for YMCA Strong Kids. Thursday, April 24th, 3 p.m., 340 University Avenue in Belleville. And should be a great day, great cause, lots of money raised. If you have time that afternoon in Belleville, show up, we could use the cheering section.
I already taken money out of both my pockets. Don't have anything left. I know sympathy, I know you're, yeah, right, okay. Thank you very much. Good luck, and make sure you stay healthy and don't hurt yourself. I guess that's the trick, eh? You've done that before, some of you. Okay. Anything else that we've missed?
Yeah,
Anything
that's
else?
Your volleyball sent you back in there?
Well, thank you very much, Inspector. I know, you've got lots of things ahead of you, and I'm sure it won't have that same word on the front of it. But anyways, thank you very much, and I appreciate all you've done for us. Thank you. Okay, I need two for confirmation. Counselor Card, Counselor Quinte, and I need two for adjournment. Counselor Reid and Counselor Armstrong. Thank you very much. Head